appreciate everybody. Big day here today for our staff and our players. Getting back to work, still kind of combining. Players had a little time, gave them the Sunday and Monday, gave them a couple days after the game, knowing we'd come back in here and have a full 7-day kind of time period in between the 2 Saturday games. But nice little review of Saturday, making sure we make corrections and a lot to improve on from especially the first half of that football game, and then transition into our preparation for a really good opponent. Got so much respect for Dave's and everything he's done there. I've known him for a long time, and just as a football coach and a leader, what he's been able to do there with that football team and how they've responded to him. You see it all over the tape in all 3 phases. So credit to him and the challenge that they're going to be coming into US Bank Stadium on Saturday. With that, I'll open it up to you guys.
Kevin, you talked yesterday about balancing snap counts with still needing to play football over these last 3 weeks. How will that kind of inform how you use Justin in those 3 games, especially with the record, the Calvin Johnson record, kind of within reach?
Yeah, he's a guy that's going to fight me every time we try to start having that conversation, but we'll pick our spots. We'll just find ways to, infuse some of the other guys in at the position anyway. But Justin's had an unbelievable season. Every bit of my hopes for him in this offense, and then some, to be quite honest, and where he's been able to go with it. And it's just such a credit to how he's worked really from day one. Really going back to FaceTiming him, the moments after meeting you guys for the first time at the press conference. A lot of what we talked about has kind of come into a reality, and I think he deserves all the credit. Kirk and him, the type of season they've had together in amongst our entire offense, and we're still improving. We're still getting better every single week and finding new ways to apply pressure to the defense while also still trying to maintain to our core of what we want to be and how we want to coach our players, technique, fundamentals, and schematically, and Justin has really checked all those boxes and continues to work every single day to get better.
So he's pushed back on
yes.
gentle suggestions to take. He runs a lot.
He does, but the crazy thing is he'll this week in practice he'll be flying around here getting ready for another challenge that he knows is upon us, and he does a great job.
Kevin, you touched upon the hits, the illegal penalized hits that Justin's been taking. Are you talking to the league about that in particular, or how are you looking into that?
It's really not my place to say much more on it. It ends up being just a general observation, as I experience game day and watch the tape. That's really all it is.
How's he feeling today, Kevin? Just physically in general, how's Justin feeling?
I think he's feeling good. Yeah, he came out of the game, feeling really good. Stopping in to see kind of the post game and down there with Tyler and Uriah. Before I came around the corner, I could hear him before I saw him laughing and joking in there. He feels really good.
Kevin, how much has your perspective changed on Kirk from the outside looking in last year when you didn't coach him to now 14 games in? Your thoughts on him have changed?
Yeah, my personal perspective has not changed a whole lot. I've been really proud of the way Kirk's played and responded to, at times some tough circumstances and leading from the front and just being, able to play in critical moments at such a high level. You don't do a lot of the things we've been able to do from coming behind and doing some of those things without a guy like Kirk playing quarterback for you. So I'm really proud of him, and we'll just continue, and I think he would prefer it that way, continue to demand. He plays at a high level each and every week, and when he does that and has consistently done for us, it's a winning formula for us, especially with the players he has around him. And once again, just the effort of our offensive line the other day, dropping back and throwing the football that many times in a half, is not how you draw it up when you put together a game plan, but by any means necessary. Truly was activated in that second half, and Kirk deserves so much of the credit for leading our group right alongside all his teammates.
Kevin, there was so much of a comparison at the beginning of when you got hired about Justin and Cooper Kupp. How much of that role that Justin plays is similar to what Kupp did, and how much of it is kind of a deviation?
Yeah, Ben, it's really, what snap are we talking about? What situation in the game? Because he's such a, unique skill set. in this offense and the type of guys we have around him, that sometimes it is that role, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes he can play so many different roles in our offense and so many different areas of our pass game and run game he has an effect on just by where he's standing, quite honestly. So I think his ability to do all those jobs and thrive doing all those jobs has also allowed guys like Adam and KJ and TJ and even Dalvin Cook in the pass game and run game to really kind of continue to solidify success, for our offense. We're still looking for consistency across the board. Starts with me each and every week. I think the guys know that I'm always going to be most critical of myself in moments where we're not at our best as an offense, but it all starts with our players and doing what's best for those guys, and them being able to handle a ton of different roles, jobs, responsibilities, and Justin has handled all that with I don't want to say ease, because he's worked incredibly hard at it and it's absolutely justified what he's been able to do, but it's just really cool to see.
Kevin, what have you seen with Assezi in terms of his development?
Yeah, I showed a couple plays today, even in the team meeting, of just his effort shows up to me. Whether it's the screen he chased down versus the Lions, he was right in on a play with EK the other day on a receiver screen, kind of running out of the stack, we call it. He's continuing to get better every single day. The finer details of pass rush moves and how to attack NFL offensive linemen when they have a plan, and then how he fits in on the early downs, being a run-stopping force with the ability to transition to being a pass rusher. He's really turning into everything that I'd kind of hoped when we identified him, being a local guy, at the U, and being able to have a good feeling of what he really was coming in. It's been cool to see him kind of continuously grow throughout the season. Glad you asked about him.
Kevin, just having another veteran guy like Josh Rosen in the quarterback room, what do you think?
Yeah, it was unfortunate to lose David. David had done a tremendous job for us and had a great opportunity to go possibly even maybe play a little bit for Arizona. So we wanted to make sure we added another player with a little bit of experience and a guy that I've kind of known for a long time and think a lot of Josh, of his talent. And I think he has a high ceiling as a quarterback just based upon his experiences, but also his pure physical talent, throwing the football at a really high level. All we want him to do is come in and learn and fit in that quarterback room that has really become, with Kirk and Nick and when we had David, a really close-knit group and come together in a great way. So we want you to come in and be a part of that, while also being ready to develop and learn on a minute-to-minute basis, because you just never know when you could possibly be called upon. Now that we know we're going to be playing some bonus football, hopefully, in the not too distant future.
You and April connected at all, like in the offseason, about being first-year coaches?
Yeah, we did. I remember going back to even the owners' meetings, getting a chance to see him and spend some time with him and his wife, and Leah and I got a chance to do that, and there was just great dialogue. He's always been somebody. He worked me out before the draft. He flew out to San Diego. I can remember him coaching me up out there when he was the quarterback coach of the Jets, and just across the board, I've always had so much respect at each spot that he's been at, really thriving in that role, whatever it was. And I think the world of him. I think he does a tremendous job, leader of men, and schematically he's a great coach, and you can see just by the way the guys play with great effort and they're dialed into the details. He's doing a tremendous job.
Last one.
Have you changed anything, say, from the big win at Buffalo to the next week at Dallas? Has the messaging changed? Did you learn anything from that to implement this week with the team?
Yeah, we talked after the Buffalo game about handling success and being able to handle the emotional toll sometimes of games like that. I think our team, we've got some experience now with that game and some of the others coming back and really pouring everything into the end of games to try to get that done. So it's definitely something we've talked about this week of acknowledging. I think it's two-part, right? I think you acknowledge the emotional, toll that it can take on you when you put everything you got into it to achieve something that just so happened to clinch the division, a goal we've had since the beginning of really getting going in training camp. But also, can we also acknowledge the accountability and the ownership of the things we need to get better at? And that starts with me. There's a ton I can do better for our team. They know that, but they also know that I'm demanding a level of standard of how we need to play football and how we need to worry about doing our jobs at a level that will contribute to winning football and helping the guy next to you play winning football as well. It all works together, and that message is clear, and now we got to put it into action. We can only talk about it so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.